Hello.
Hello, happy new moon.
Yes, and happy new year, right?
Yes, Chinese lunar New Year, year of the dragon.
Yes. There was a really interesting thing that happened. I was cleaning my room, and one of our subscribers, and I think she watches our live, she gifted me this dragon, and I was cleaning, and it broke. So
Oh,
I'm sorry, honey. I don't know if that's a bad sign, but I'm gonna glue it together.
I'll show you my. I've been meaning to pull this out for just this occasion. This is my.
Oh yes, I love yours. It's so colorful and pretty.
Not wild.
Yeah, I like it. Now, does that have six fingers?
He does not.
Oh,
Well, actually, he does. I'll be darned. No, he has five.
oh, five. Well, that's closer than what I had. I think mine had four.
This came from a Filipino festival many years ago, and I just loved how bright and colorful it was.
Yeah, that was the first thing that I noticed when I seen it. It was the colors and
So,
stuff.
yeah, I meant to bring that out today to honor the Chinese New Year. I work with a group of Chinese people that this is a very big deal for them today. It's like our New Year's Eve to them, and
Mm-hmm.
all the festivities are today and tonight, not so much tomorrow. And it's a new beginning, and the dragon is supposed to mean power and prosperity. So, yeah, very good.
Yeah. So aside from that, what is this new moon bringing for us today? Because we have an Aquarius new moon, and there's like a lot that's going on from what I know.
There is a lot going on, and I believe it was exact your time around 2 p.m. today,
Oh
and
wow.
on the East Coast around, what would that be, 5 p.m.? And so Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. And what I was looking at before we um, came on was as we get closer into, like, from now through this time next weekend, we're going to have Mercury, Venus, Mars, the Sun, all in Aquarius, and Pluto.
That's a lot.
So Mercury, all the personal planets, Mercury, Venus, Mars, the Sun, Pluto, five planets in Aquarius. So I spent a lot of time on the planet Uranus and thinking about what it rules and some possibilities of what we might see manifest. We've already started to see major earthquakes in Hawaii and California. Um, I, I think in Asian countries there have been some pretty big earthquakes. So weather patterns, severe weather patterns, I would anticipate uh, with all of that kind of electricity. So Uranus rules electricity, uranium. You might see you remember Chernobyl when there was a nuclear power crisis at the plant. We might see some of that. Um, we certainly have heard like sword rattling about nuclear warheads and those kinds of threats in different countries. I do believe it is saber rattling. I don't believe we're going to be seeing like Hiroshima again,
Mm-hmm.
but certainly that kind of violence and energy and revolution. Because Uranus is the rebel. It evolves society and humanity. And I don't really care what country you look at right now, everyone is in some sort of upheaval about one thing or another.
Mm.
Um, so the planet itself is said to have extreme temperatures for ice and cold. And if you've ever known a person that is heavy Aquarian energy, they can come off very aloof and detached. They are, however, deeply warm and kind in that humanitarian, give you the shirt off their back kind of person. So there's sort of a paradox there of the hot and cold.
Mhm.
And any Aquarians that I've known as personal friends, I think what a consistent thing would be to say they're very hard to get to know or get close to. Once you do, though, you have a friend for life. I mean, um, and you just get to understand that when they need their time to detach, that's just them needing time to detach and decompress, and it's not personal. They're not like affronting you, you know.
Mhm.
So Aquarius is the esoteric, so it rules all things metaphysical, astrology, tarot, all the metaphysical arts. So I think you'll see more and more mainstream types of divining and esoteric kinds of modems in a more uh, brought out more in the light, where it's had times in the history where it's sort of kept in the dark, or only done in dark rooms or behind velvet curtains or whatever.
Mhm.
I think you can anticipate um, more interest in the esoteric arts. And so Aquarius rules the calves and the circulatory system. So, along the meridians in our body of the circulatory system is the nervous system, and Aquarius is electricity. So, you could experience tremors, physical tremors, if you have certain aspects in your chart with a lot of focus on Aquarius um, energy, you can actually have shakes or tremors. And uh, it's very changeable. So um, it's something that, like, if you had something kind of nerve wracking come on you with physical symptoms, it could leave you as quickly as it comes on you. That sort of ebb and flow and the erratic nature of electricity. Electricity, like, it's not a consistent flow. It's a pulsating, erratic kind of energy. And that is what we're under. That's the kind of energy that we're under. So I sort of re-upped my memory about the um, myth of the Greek god Uranus. That
Mhm.
is the name for god of the sky, heaven, and air. One thing I like to look at the myths for the archetypes that they um, represent and how that might apply to us in a modern day terms. And so Uranus was the father to Saturn and the grandfather to Jupiter. And Jupiter and Saturn have also been having a lot of interesting and historic transits for us for a while. Saturn has been in Pisces, which brings on all of those sort of, again, psychic, metaphysical kinds of healing, holistic arts. Um, I feel like whether it's an economic reason or just the nature of the times, like people are turning to more holistic kinds of medicine and healing, and some of the ugly underbelly of the medical industry and pharmaceutical uh, corruption has people double thinking how they want to be treated,
Mm-hmm.
maybe having a little more faith in Mother Nature and their own mind's power to heal. Um, so Uranus married Gaia, and they had 18 children, which ultimately were myths of the Titans, the various Titans. And for whatever reason, Uranus resented his kids and imprisoned them inside the earth. And Gaia and one of the sons, Cronus, conspired to ambush Uranus. One myth goes that Cronus took a sickle and sliced his father's testicles off and scattered them on the ocean. From the foam created by the severed testicles was born Aphrodite. So the archetype and mythology of the Uranus myth has to do with cruelty never goes unpunished. So a lot of the ugly underbelly of what we're seeing in humanity during these Pluto transits has to do with human trafficking. You know, um, where I live, the General Assembly is in session right now, and this week, the bill that has brought attention to uh, like organizing an agency to stop human trafficking is on the front page of the newspapers. Don't know that I've ever seen that one before. So, Mars is that sexual element, and uh, but the whole mythology of, the cruelty perpetrated in the human race, although it may at times seem like it takes a century to ever balance the karma, it does not go unpunished. So that is the hopium that we have during this time. And today, with the new moon, putting our energy and our meditation and our prayers and our thoughts in that uniqueness within ourselves to create and express our own individuality. Like, Aquarians don't go with the crowd, right? They're not followers at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this energy is about all of us embracing our own uniqueness. And for people who have read tarot or been astrologers or been in the metaphysics, have gone through a certain degree of persecution and judgment in their lifetimes, because it's a misunderstood element. It's this truck was in front of me a little while ago coming down the road, and it said, "Mercy triumphs over judgment." And I thought, what an interesting saying for the universe to say to me. Mercy triumphs over judgment. So that might be something to meditate on. That's kind of deep for me to try to just blurt out what I think that might mean right now. But I do think when we're, you know, plastered across in front of us some sign from the universe, it is something for us to pay attention to.
Mm-hmm.
Mercy triumphs over judgment. And certainly people who have been in the metaphysics or esoteric arts have been judged falsely, you know, certain certain centuries even burned at the stake, and all kinds of horrible things. So One of my feelings, because the nodal axis and how it's also um, uh, for this new moon is connecting with Chiron, I really do, in all my heart, believe that karma is balancing. So, I mean, on a global scale, I mean, on a personal scale, and every notch in between. So, if you have, had situations that were unjust or unfair, or you've wondered why certain things happen the way they do, um, this new moon is sort of that new hope of everything is exactly as it should be. And there is a natural law of balance in the universe. And that's what we have to have faith in. And sometimes I think the adversity is just so that we do remind ourselves of just those things, and also how resilient we can be to get through. Like one of the local news programs was even bringing up survivors of human trafficking to be interviewed. So, as we have had some very gnarly transits between Pluto and Mars, that is all about uh, drugs, sex, trafficking, abuse, deviant behavior. I mean, that is just the worst of humankind. That's like the Jeffrey Dahmer case. If you go back to when Jeffrey Dahmer was caught and put on trial, you would see gnarly aspects with Pluto and Mars. So, we're coming up on Mardi Gras, which is another festival. So we're in somewhat of a festive time here. You were talking about the Indian festival, and we've got the Chinese New Year. We have down in the Bayou the Fat Tuesday, and bringing on Lent for other cultures. So we're in this really interesting melting pot of culture, which is very Aquarian, people of different backgrounds, but all finding common humanitarian uh, common ground. Everyone can relate to human beings not being trafficked and abused. Everyone can come together on wanting that to stop, except the people doing it, of course. So it's a very interesting time in our society. And I think that, if you've had any kind of, sort of sudden epiphanies, or something that, have you ever felt like something about yourself that it shocked yourself to about yourself? I mean, I don't know exactly how to describe that, but you know, it's typically when you say never, oh, I would never, blah, blah, blah. And then in however many times, whether it's months or years, you find yourself, but you would. And
Mm-hmm.
it might shock yourself, it might shock yourself how well you would take news, of some kind of health situation, or, um, you know, uh, changes in corporations and the workplace. There might be some shocking or disruptive kinds of uh, subject matter there. So I think what this opportunity is for all of us is to, you know, embrace flexibility, because this energy, this very Uranian Aquarius vibe, doesn't let you get comfortable. This is not a warm, fuzzy place, where you can just lay in the hammock and suck on your cocktail. This is more about action and being able to be like the goalie, and shift directions. I think of like snow skiers or ice skaters, how they can turn on a dime, on the ice. And so, yeah, it's really, going to be more difficult for people who are very fixed and have a harder time with going with the flow. So, one of the things that I would say is on the agenda for the next several days would be to go with the flow. Don't get too, if you have big Super Bowl plans or Mardi Gras plans or Lunar New Year plans and they fall through or change, to try to keep that even keel with your energy. Try to keep that vibe that's high and embraces what comes your way, and it might be something very unexpected. Aquarian is about I know, you know, it's deep space, extraterrestrials, aliens, artificial intelligence, the electronic highway. Um, when you combine the element of being a humanitarian with the element of artificial intelligence, what do you get? So that's that's what a lot of society is trying to process globally is how do you feel about um, people being put out of work by what computers can do? What are people who, have one skill set that it gets replaced going to do? How do we evolve into these new ways of doing things without putting, half the world on the couch eating Cheetos? So um, it's a very inventive time and it's a very um, creative time to allow your imagination to run wild with, you know, creating your unique expression of your energy and not letting the judgment of anybody else affect what that might be. And it's very hard. That's very challenging when, we're basically in these systems of hierarchies in society and, this these segments fall into line, and I think all of the chinks in the chain are getting unchinked. And I think it's good. I mean, it's great for people who are drawn to this kind of body of study, whether it be quantum physics or astrology or UFOs, all these unique kinds of studies that have been unfortunately poorly judged. People have been poorly judged for um, having interest in things that people don't understand. And I sound like a broken record, but it's worthy of saying again. The Saturn Pluto conjunction at the end of 2019 was the trigger point of spiritual awakening in our world. So we're 3 years in, going in 4 years here soon. And that's what you're experiencing is people awakening, not wanting to be that android that just, thumbs through their daily life. Everyone, gets that spark of there's more to this, there's more color in your palette. Um, it's like it reminds me of the 60s with psychedelics and people doing hallucinogenics to travel in their minds to other planes of time. And I think you'll see more and more about that, quantum physics, time
So,
travel.
my question is like, how history repeats itself.
Yes.
And with the planets, like, this is the return of Aquarius, and this is
Yes.
actually happening in our lifetime now. But
Yes.
if we can go back to the last time where we had these similar energies, like,
It
what were
was
what were the things that were happening around? And I think that you said that you're going to come up with some kind of historical reference.
Yeah, that's like the Industrial Revolution.
Mhm.
If you take even back more thousands of years, you could go back to the invention of the wheel and
Mhm.
how the wheel changed mankind.
Mhm.
When mankind hopped on the back of a horse and became mobile. So, all of these ideas of evolution in society and inventions. So, now we're in the time period of space and our connection to our environment and traveling through time, traveling through space. Um, uh, and that's what I mean about, the world is in sore need of energetic, creative minds, and instead of like, I think there's a segment of society that thrives on fear mongering and keeping people down and keeping
Mhm.
people in lockstep. And this is the energy to rebel, that kind of go along go along to get along.
Mhm.
Going along to get along hasn't gotten us anywhere, but deep in debt with all kinds of weird health crisis issues, financial crisis issues. So I think it's interesting to try and brainstorm what are the inventions that you think of to do things a new way, whether
I
that's
think that's really important that you hit like really um like the nail on the head, because today, I know, today I saw those little chemtrails
oh yeah,
going off in the sky, but today was very unique. They were in like these patterns going across the sky. And I'm like, well, is today a special day? I don't know. Like,
it's a new year and a
well,
new moon.
yeah, and I'm like, are they trying to suppress or control or to make people feel anxious or in a weird way to for them to put the chemicals up in the air, like, and that
So,
was like.
isn't that interesting? I'm glad you brought that up because so much of it, I think, has to do with what we choose to believe.
Right. And I
So,
was like thinking, I was like, well, I'm not gonna let these fucking clouds, oh excuse me.
well,
Like,
one of the concepts is that it's, I'm going to wreck this word, hydrochloroquine.
mhm,
Hydrochloroquine. It's a positive seeding of the clouds that are helping to remove the toxins that are in our air. So it's
mhm,
supposed to be positive for us. Um, and then you've got the naysayers who'll say, oh, they're putting bad things in the air for us. So this is what I mean about being watchful of your mind and not let the fear mongering get the best of you.
mhm.
And get a dog so they make you laugh and remind you to wag your tail. Get your tail feathers wagging. And
She's a princess. That's what
yeah,
she.
well, I know that it's really important for us to stay in the moment. And when you talk about evolution and history, ultimately what a prediction is, and we're just in the very, very beginnings of this Aquarian kind of age, is that we are returning to like the energy of Lemuria in the lost city of Atlantis.
Mhm,
So this is about the psychic faculty. This is about telepathy, communicating with the power of your thought. It's said in the city of Atlantis, by the thought, they could move their bodies.
mhm,
One of the exercises that the psychic Sylvia Brown always talked about doing, and I believe it. I've done it myself, and I think it's worth sharing out with this kind of energy. You know, anytime you can look into one of the um, either seven wonders of the world or ancient secrets of the world. Today, I caught a bit of a documentary on Stonehenge. Um, Anytime you can look into some mystery like that in our world, and they're even finding new wonders of the world. So, um, I thought about what I just said about the lost city of Atlantis and Stonehenge. Stonehenge has a lot of theories. Nobody really knows. I mean, I'm sure you can talk to historians who think they know exactly what it is. Um, um, but part of it, the amazing part of it right now is that even the stones remaining from like 4,000 years ago still play an astrological measurement at certain times of the sun. All these thousands of years later, um, in one of, let's see, what was that? Sylvia Browne's book, Ancient Secrets and Mysteries of the Ancient World, I believe. It was a compilation of her work of 20 years through hypnotherapy. And she would keep files on her clients under hypnosis and what they'd speak to. And they'd be totally unrelated people, but they'd all go to the pyramids and talk about their experience when they were in that lifetime, or go to Stonehenge. And a lot of the consistent experiences under hypnosis were spaceships from other worlds planting those stones, because it doesn't make any sense how that kind of stone got that far away from where they originated. Or just the same thing with the pyramids, that from outer space they look like some kind of landing pattern. So this is all very Aquarian, and it opens up our mind to question any story that you've been fed in your history books or in schooling or in your life that you've come to think is how it is. Be prepared to think differently, to be willing to consider a story a different way. And I think that's the most positive way that we can do this energy is mercy. What was this saying? I said mercy overcomes judgment.
Yeah, something like that. Mm-hmm.
So, you know, maybe we need to have a little mercy on ourselves. Maybe we've been so driven with a mindset and a social moray for generations that we don't give ourselves a break to see how much of our life has been numb. Maybe it takes all this Aquarian Uranus kind of get shook up kind of energy to make us look at things all different angles. It's like a crystal, or, something that you look at from all different angles, meditating on your crystals for the new moon. I think Aquarius is like amethyst, garnet, jade, labradorite, aquamarine. Those are
All the
all,
ones that I like.
yeah,
Like, I think January or Capricorn gets like garnet and like.
yeah, yeah. I had a really nice piece of aquamarine somewhere. I don't know where it is right now. But anyway, So the energy is all about using your metaphysical tools and being open to being shook up. That if something is shaking up in your life, to embrace that, to allow structures to be restructured. I think that, as Pluto is in its last few degrees of Capricorn, and so it is at zero Aquarius right now for, I think, until like June. It goes retrograde again, and it's like November before it's back into Aquarius for good for like 20 years. But that Pluto in Aquarius, we've had 20 years of Pluto in Capricorn, which is all about authority, government oppression, um, government getting way too big. And so that thunderbolt of Uranus and Aquarius and freedom, because that's all about freedom. We want to be free.
Mm-hmm.
And so it comes down to finding the authority within yourself, and not looking towards Big Brother to do for you. That's when humanity, I think, will ultimately evolve into a healthier space, is when we stop looking at a government authority to do something for us. Because when we give them that power, they corrupt it. And so slowly but surely, we're being shown crumbs of corruption. It's only going to be more and more of a wave of it. And I feel like there's a segment of society that just scares them to death, to think that there'd be a smaller government and people need to be more self-sufficient. And then there's another part of people that embrace wanting more freedom and wanting to be more self-sufficient, and not wanting an authority to tell you whether or not you have to pay that fee to have that driver's license, or pay that fee to have your car inspected, or pay that fee to get a business license, or pay that fee to, you know, um, just line the pocket coffers of a very fat government. So that's going to be playing into this too. There's a whole lot of rumbling as we get towards the first eclipse of the year in April. And let's see.
So it sounds like finally the government structures are taking the shakedown. Like
Yeah,
there's,
they are. Yeah.
yeah, I'm starting to feel that. Yeah.
So we're going to have the Jupiter Uranus conjunction in April. It's exact around the 18th, 17th, 18th. But we're already starting to feel that. That's in Taurus. That's financial systems. Um, I do work with some Chinese people that do, it's all like commercial real estate transactions between different countries for infrastructure, like roads and tunnels and bridges. And they create bonds to pay for infrastructure of cities, towns, and countries. And there's this new girl who has come from Beijing to be a consultant for this particular team where I work. She's so nice, sweetest girl. I just, even with the kind of, we work out our language. I mean, she does speak English, but it's kind of a challenge sometimes for us to know what words we're trying to say. And she'll bring up on her phone, like in Chinese, what she's trying to say, and then it translates to tell me what she's trying to say. And you know they already embrace this digital currency business where, through her phone, she just touches it and it's all like she was showing me on her phone today how her friends in China were sending her digital money, these little coins that she would bring up. And so translate it to American dollars, but it was all digital. And I know that I feel like there's this real weird contradiction of resistances about how our financial systems are changing. There has been a conspiracy theory that Bitcoin is what has financed human trafficking and that it's not an integrity. When I first got onto it, like, I don't know, my haircut guy got me into it like in 2010. The way it was explained to me was where we've had a centralized banking system that only has one set of gates of approval. Digital currency is decentralized, and every transaction goes through a set of 9 gates. So there's a lot more oversight, which is supposed to help cut down on money laundering and corruption and counterfeiting, those kinds of crimes. I guess it's like anything else. There's going to be a good side and a bad side. And
Mm-hmm.
where we're going to be navigating over the next few years is pumping up the good part, right? And um, I personally don't want to see everything go digital. I like I like something physical in my hand. But there's certainly under this kind of energy a lot going on with the restructuring of financial systems. I
Well, I
heard,
already seen that because there's 20 banks that are closing down.
yeah,
Two of them are in my state. I don't know about the rest of the other states, but it's a big bank, you
and
know.
they're restructuring existing banks to be wealth management centers,
Yes.
not banks.
Yes.
So it's interesting. We know that there's something rumbling, there's something happening.
Mhm.
Um, I'll tell you a funny little conspiracy theory I heard uh, about the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And I hope I don't piss anybody off about the Super Bowl. I work with some football fanatics today. Everybody had their jersey on. I don't own a jersey.
Mhm.
It's not that I don't like it. I just, over the years, seeing the uh, like corruption of money in all sports, it to me takes away the wholesome fun of it. When it just becomes about a $30 million contract and not like giving everybody a chance to, like the Olympics don't have money. They don't pay those Olympians until they get sponsorships, but it just seems to take out a element of fair competition sometimes that I lost interest when this will date me. When the Baltimore Colts left Baltimore, I lost interest because for me it was about loyalty. And so teams don't stay loyal to anybody, any region anymore, or players don't stay loyal. It's all the almighty dollar and driven. So that just for me personally, I know it's a huge mega billion-dollar industry, and I will tune in if nothing else to see the creativity of the commercials, right? Because they usually have some pretty fun commercials.
Mhm.
Um, but number one, NFL football games are some of the largest child trafficking opportunities ever given. So when you put that element into it, it's not so fun. And this whole hype about, oh, please don't kill me, Taylor Swift. I work with some real Taylor Swift fans. This one girl pays $1,500 for a ticket and flies between Atlanta and Philadelphia to her concerts. I mean, she is a diehard fan. I don't get it, but then that's okay. I don't have to get it. But this whole pump between her, the romantic relationship between one of the football players and her, and there was all this discussion yesterday. We had a staff meeting, and there was all this discussion about the diehard football fans who really don't give a crap about somebody's romantic life and
Mm.
don't want to hear about the pop singer, in the booth and want the game. And then you've got the pop singer fans who just want to see as much of the pop singer as they can. Well, two things I'm going to throw out there that may or may not be shocking. One is the Taylor Swift that we're seeing now is not the same Taylor Swift from 2010, that this is a clone. I don't know. The other interesting thing is her name, Swift. Swift is the name of a banking system that is being replaced by the quantum field or Stargate. So then they went on to connect that her next album out like April 17th, which is this big conjunction that I'm talking about, is the anniversary of the end of the Revolutionary War. So there's these weird little synchronicities that I don't know if they mean anything or not, but they are interesting how they link up, and it won't be till we're months down the road and look back to know if they did mean anything indeed. And a lot of times that's how astrology is, that, you can try to anticipate what things might mean, but it's really not until we're down the road and can reflect back, in our individual charts. We can say, well, this has the potential to be blah, 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 but we really don't know what that's going to be until we're a few months down the road looking back. Well, that's when I changed jobs, or that's when I had a new relationship, or that's when, something happened. So it's interesting times. And I think we're all kind of ready for something interesting to happen. I mean, Aquarius wants change and wants revolution. I'll tell you how weird my day got yesterday. I think I've done this once or twice in my whole life. And it was really because I just kind of stumbled upon it on my phone, and my work that I was doing was such that I wasn't all that engaged in it to where I could be listening to something and still get this task done. But I listened to the Supreme Court case yesterday on the radio, and it's about voting rights and voting. And what else was it about? But I'm sitting there listening to this BS between these attorneys that just makes you want to your head implode, of the audacity of the ego for someone to argue over what you and I have the right to do or not do. A lot of what we've forgotten is our inalienable rights. I mean, there are just inalienable rights we all have that we've just piece by piece let go, all for the sake of, pay the bills, get the kids to school, get the car fixed. I mean, we're all so engaged in our lives just trying to survive that, as big government has sort of pecked away at our inalienable right, our rights of being a human, living, breathing, equal person. And just because you have a license from a law school or, a bar association doesn't somehow make you above those that don't. So it was a weird feeling between all the different weather patterns coming through and rumbles of Supreme Court decisions. I mean, there's a rumbling in the land. Um, yeah,
There was a thing like in Florida, I believe. I think it was around Miami or something like that where there was an earthquake.
yeah.
Did you see that? And
There's been
then they
several earthquakes this week.
yeah, and then I think like the news was passing it off as like, oh well, that's like military tests, but it's an actual earthquake.
Well, in Las Vegas, where the Super Bowl is going to be held, the stadium was flooded earlier this week. They had
Oh,
floods. They had water coming down where people are be sitting in the bleachers. So, part of that is if you believe in the human trafficking tunnels under major cities, and that, um, there's some elite brigade of the army flooding them out to close them down, that has created a lot of flooding in areas all up through Michigan and the Finger Lakes. Um, and who knows? Who knows? I mean, I think we're all what that Jupiter conjunction in April, I think, will finally bring some truth to light, because these energies are all about seeking the truth and wanting our freedom, wanting to
mhm.
be sovereign, a sovereign individual, that can make your own decisions. By God, if you want to smoke cigarettes, smoke cigarettes. If you want to,
I would like to smoke, but
I mean, but it shouldn't be some authority telling you whether you can or not.
hmm
It just, we have very easily given up basic rights and decisions to do things. And I think that's all becoming a question now.
Well,
People,
what do you think? Like, since we're going to the Aquarian age and how we're going to digital everything, right? Even like I had a discussion earlier about like androids, like robots,
right,
and how robots are becoming more sentient. And, where's the cap on that? Because I
right,
think like Elon Musk is creating like a robot to help us with like basic household chores,
right,
like cooking and cleaning and you
exactly.
know, and then, but what's the next step? The things, it could be like the porn industry, having a robotic doll.
Oh, yeah,
But but like, but where's the cap on that? And also there's like this merging of like this technology like Neuralink and things
yeah,
like that. So like, are we like becoming like how like there's like an interbreeding of different species of
right,
humanoids and things, but
right.
where is the stop? Are we going to integrate with electronics?
Well, so that's exactly what our society is going to be discussing as humanitarians. What are the social mores for
and
just
and so and I was talking about
Right.
this
Keep
because
keep
we
in
were talking
mind.
about Lemuria, right? Like
Right,
Lemurians, they were using their mind consciousness, okay, their own physical being,
right,
not like using technology outside of themselves, but within. But even with them, like using that kind of knowledge, it actually was to their detriment also. So it's like,
right,
if this is a repeat of something
right.
like that, like, like what are we gonna do about it, this time around?
Well,
And
that's you've got your finger on the pulse of where the age we're heading into. All of these discussions. What I will say is, remember, it was like the late '80s, early '90s that we started cloning. So cloning has been around a good 30 years. We've perfected cloning. You're seeing newscasters on TV that are clones. You're seeing movie stars and singers who are clones. So that is not new. The thing is going to be as the technology is exposed for its diabolical side, what kinds of perimeters do we as human beings want to set for future generations? I think we're going to see Nuremberg 2.0 with crimes against humanity, so that's going to bring forth a lot of the diabolical side of the science, how they've used pieces and parts of babies to come up with
That was
these.
another thing. Remember? Okay, and I remember this. But when I gave birth to my boys, they asked me, do I want to save the umbilical cord of my
Right,
children? And I opted yes, because, I don't know if like that's going to help them in the future.
right,
Yeah, I don't know where their umbilical cord is.
right. So there's this whole underbelly dark side of the industry for organ harvesting,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I mean about the good, the bad, and the ugly. I mean, Uranus shakes things up to bring things to light we might not be prepared to see. It could be very, I don't say could, it will be very shocking what we ultimately get disclosed. It will be shocking. And I don't think you will ever see everything unless you go dig deep for it.
Right. And it's like, can you stomach what you find?
And
Because,
there's some stuff out there I've run into completely by accident, or if it was accident, who knows? Maybe the universe needed me to see some, babies being killed or sacrificed through satanic ritual for me to actually believe that could even be out there. And it
mhm.
is out there. There are survivors of these kinds of satanic cults. And that's a very downside of the Aquarian energy is it does birth cult kind of behavior. So you want to be really leery of that kind of join up with social groups, and what that might mean. It can all might appear perfectly innocent and then have this really dark underbelly.
Agenda.
And we've seen some of these kinds of polygamous kinds of compounds and, religious cults over the years. And this energy is definitely propagates that kind of behavior. I think it's more influential on really young people. Like if you have, you know, teenagers and young adults, they're more impressionable. But certainly anyone is vulnerable to scams. With all the artificial intelligence and electronics, scamming has become extremely sophisticated.
Oh, yeah.
You have to be vigilant on um, everything we do. We really can't take anything.
What really appalls me is that the people who are coming up with these scams,
I know.
it's like, why can't they do good? Why do they have to like do these things? To test, I
Greed.
want to say, people's intelligence.
Yeah. It's,
It's just sad.
yeah,
Hmm.
driven by power and greed. It's the age old good versus evil. And truly the Aquarian age brings that whole dynamic right there to the center of the Colosseum for the big gladiator fight. And that's why it's really important to get clear on, what are your value systems? What do you believe? What
Mhm.
is important to you to carry on to generations that come behind you? And not just go with the flow of this sort of larger than life authority that is an engine of the greed, the money and the greed and the power. That's why I've been turned off by professional sports is the greed and the money is more of an engine that drives it than any kind of real sportsman-like competition or talent. And um, it's just, that's all about humanity. And that's where we are, to discuss just those things as communities, about what's important to you. And do you have a moral issue with, clones or humanoids that, you know, enter the dating pool? Isn't it hard enough to date and meet nice people than to have humanoids and robots to compete with too?
Yeah, like perfection or
Right.
and it's like, like I
And
don't know,
I
it's
think
so strange.
I think older generations really, we all have to step up to help with the younger generations at this time, because there's a fracture, there's been a fracture of any kind of family unit, like people, again, just in such a lockstep of survival, that a lot of young people have just fallen through the cracks. That's how they end up in the tunnels being trafficked. That's how they end up on drugs, or that's how they end up on the street. And I think a humanitarian effort we could all do in our own communities is, you know where these homeless teenagers are. They are there, and find the food pantries and the shelters where we can help. um, I know that, churches try to help, but it that's the humanitarian effort. Is a lot of young people have been left behind in this storm of um, economic uh, dissolution, and jobs being taken out of the marketplace. Um, you know, one of the elements, I think it's starting to come back, but just like tradesmen, when I was growing up in high school, my brothers went to trade schools where they learned, car mechanics and carpentry and electricity. And somewhere along the way that got dropped out of the educational chain of events. And so now you've got, a real need for tradespeople. And I think you'll start seeing that everything is cyclical, right? It comes in cycles. So, one of the things that um, I have an interest in the community for the young people is just, basic uh, skill sets for having a home, having a bank account, having, you know, cooking, sewing, basic skill sets that have been lost.
I
And
think it's really great instead of having AI or whoever do those like things that humans
right,
would enjoy, because that's an art or like a form of creative expression in itself.
right,
Because not only that you're cooking food, it's not about perfection, it's about, how do you feel when you make these things. I mean, there's a lot involved, not just like the mechanical aspects of creating something like that. So that's where I feel the sentience is lacking. I mean, they can learn responses and
right.
you know based off of like the input, like the data that's being provided. But the whole thing about being human is the experience of
Experiential.
love, its
Yeah.
feelings, which
Well,
is
and we were talking about that recently in my office, because many of the people have kids between the ages of like 12 and 20.
mhm.
And COVID, what COVID did to the school system, and how kids have been trying to assimilate back into some social groups and semblance since COVID. And those formative years of the emotional responses, they're so dialed into their phone it's hard to have that face to face communication and contact. And there's some off the chart statistics for suicides in that age group. And there's just, our society has really failed our young people. And so as the Aquarian age um, unfolds, I think the older generations, we have a mantle to carry to come and make sure that um, we have structures in society to make young people feel self-esteem. And that's what knowing different trades and skill sets do for a young person, is they make them feel confident, and they make them, feel worthy. People kill themselves because they don't feel worthy, and or loved or needed. And so uh, Aquarius is the humanitarian. And so we are into a stream of energy that will only keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger, of looking at your community where you live, and where can you do some small part of need. In my little neck of the woods, a lot has to do with the elderly people. I'm around a lot of elderly people, and there's a big need, just like for the young people, for the elderly people. If nothing else, um, companionship, or a good hot bowl of soup. I mean, there are little things we can all do in our community to make somebody's life a little better that day. Even
Mhm.
if you don't have time to do something, you can at least call or express that you're thinking about them. But this is how we, in my opinion, overcome the whole AI revolution and the whole Android revolution, is we have elements they can never replicate, but it's up to us to step up, and that's what my fear has been, is we've all been so asleep for so long, and just sort of trying to survive, keeping our head above water, that taking the extra time to, you know, take a magazine to a shut-in, or giving a kid a ride to the ballpark, or whatever that errand, or a little extra effort that you can work into your life, um, to help someone in your community, because it starts locally.
I mean, it could just be within the family too. If you're not spending enough time with your kids, or,
That's right.
you're just busy working and stuff, I mean, at least take
Or
one
like
time out.
taking kids to be involved in an animal shelter, or a nursing home, or teaching kids to be involved in their community, because COVID really did isolate people at a young age, when their minds really need to learn those social skills.
Hmm.
And I mean, the whole mental health community is so underserved. It's just so it's just so overwhelmed by need, and not enough, help.
Yeah,
So
actually, I just got an email from DVR, which is like I forgot what it stands for, but basically it's like vocational services, or for disabled people.
yeah,
And so there is going to be a little meeting, I believe, next week about like how that they can improve on the services. But the thing is that there's a lack of those people in those areas to help people in need. You
let me
know.
tell you what happened in this area, and I'm sure it's not isolated here, but it's kind of puts in perspective what we can maybe do to help affect a change, or an evolution. That's what Aquarius does. It evolves, it revolutionizes how things are done. So my coworker has, I believe he's 17. He's had a lot of emotional problems with COVID, a lot of anger management stuff, and he was suicidal.
Mm,
And so the county, when she reached out to a counselor, they had to basically tag him as high risk, and put him in a 90-day program. This was all predicated by a bureaucratic process, right?
Mm.
So the kid gets tagged or labeled, and if he didn't show up for these, started out twice a week, and then after 3 weeks it went down to once a week. But for 90 days, he had to show up at this center with this counselor. And if he missed any of them and didn't have a damn good reason or whatever, they could charge the mother.
Oh.
So the government, puts their 2 cents in with it, to take away parents' rights, which that's a huge problem right now, is the government trying to take away parents' rights to parent your kids.
Mhm.
So, and it was very expensive, and it was not paid for by insurance. And, but it did help him, right? He connected with the counselor, he improved, and he comes through the 90 days, right? And I think that was over, I think, like towards the end of Thanksgiving or so. So then you go through the holidays, and now we're back at the first of the year where it's always a little funky. Everybody's come out of the holiday rah rah or
Mhm.
whatever,
Mhm. Mhm.
and he's been backsliding. So when she called this center, because he told his mother he missed the counselor, that it was a man that he connected with. He felt like he helped him. And, he wanted to see if he could go talk to him. And a lot of this had to do with, high schoolers being mean to each other over girls, or, the whole hormone thing going on about who likes who and who's playing games with who. So a lot of
Mhm.
it's just about being a teenager, right?
Right.
um, on top of all the other complications and isolation of COVID, the whole emotional structures have not been nurtured, right? And so she calls and they go, well, yes, but he has to be put in the system again for 90 days. So it's not like he could just come and talk to the counselor. He had to re-up into that financial commitment of 90 days and be, under the government authority for if he didn't show up. So they backed off of that, and he ended up having a major um, blow up recently, and um, you know, anger, and both him and uh, both her and the father were like, we've got to do something. He needs some more counseling or whatever. Well, the father calls up the center and talks to the counselor, and he goes, oh yeah, he can come to see me every once in a while. It doesn't have to sign up for the 90 days. My point of this whole thing is there's so much inconsistency. There's so much need for mental health support systems that's not there. And then the systems that are in place are inconsistent. A lot of times it depends on who you get on the phone as to what you get told. Um, Same thing happens with elder care, trying to find structures to companionship and help elders. You can call and get one person's idea and call again and get
So,
another.
do you think that there should be a blow up in nonprofit agencies to help with
I think there will be. Yeah.
mental health and like for transitional, like I call it transitional services or just mental health services
Yeah.
to help people in need? And these are more for like humanitarian stuff, is what you're
Absolutely.
saying.
Yeah.
And there's like a varied need based on different demographics, like age groups
Yeah.
and things like that. So I think that's a really good, like I want to say career
Yeah.
field to kind of get into.
Absolutely. Yeah.
My brother is a mental health specialist.
So he probably knows better than anybody what's going on.
Well, I mean, he's down in Arizona, and maybe the heat gets to some people, but I think that he would probably get more of going up north where it's colder and more depressing.
Right, less
You
light.
Yeah, and more challenging because I think he's in a more relaxed
Right,
area for something like that.
right,
But certainly places that are either extremely hot or extremely cold, where it affects your mental
right.
ability to really think. Um,
Well,
I,
these are the days when each of us, as a living, breathing human being, not humanoid and not clone,
Humans, yeah.
right? We each have a responsibility to our community, or to if it is your family, just to something outside of ourselves to make life better. It's
Mm.
not just going to happen by some big authoritarian conglomerate. It,
No,
it's
but I think in the case of your friend, where her son needed special help,
yeah,
I mean, I think that's a special case because if the parent has tried all that could to help their child to, be mentally stable, then yeah, that's where help, like, with the institution of some sort who is well versed and that sort of thing would be important. I feel,
yeah,
not saying that the government needs to step in and control the situation. I think that's a bit extreme,
yeah,
but I would say that only if there was like a abuse situation
right,
or something really where they do have to kind of get involved in that way.
right, right. And there's
um
a need for all of that. I mean, that's how kids end up on the street, is because there's no infrastructure to handle abused kids being kicked out of their house or
mhm,
needing to run away from abuse. And I think all of this is going to become much more prominent as we get into all this Aquarian energy. And it will
mhm.
be shocking. That's the part about it will be shocking.
Like, yeah, like a lot of people didn't know that, like, such and such was going through those hard times
Right,
until it got too late.
right.
Yeah, yeah, I can definitely see that. I think most parents who have high school kids, they do go through like those hard times because nowadays kids are ruthless.
And it's gotten worse.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, all because of technology and having access to information, and because if you can imagine, like when we were growing up, we didn't have technology, and the only interaction was actually just being in the physical with
Right.
someone and having word of mouth, not through a text message. It's, like pretty much gossip, or you know how it is, like things like
It's
that.
it's really I think Aquarian energy, it's about the individual, right? We
Mhm.
are all individually unique,
Mhm.
and humanitarianism.
Mhm.
So, how can we each individually, in our unique way, offer something to the community in a humanitarian effort? You
Mhm.
know, once a month, I know there was a group down in my old neighborhood in the city where I grew up where you would meet at this certain place um, one Saturday morning. I don't know, like it was like twice a summer or something. And the city would outfit you with the 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 stick that pokes paper in the bag, and we would go through these streets where there was a bunch of trash and pick up trash. I mean,
Mhm.
it was maybe twice a summer. I mean, that's not a huge commitment. We can all find little ways. And the thing about depression and uh, being forlorn in your own life is when you do something for the community or in a humanitarian way, it makes you feel better. So, whatever
Mhm.
you're depressed about or upset about, if you get out of your head and do something for someone else, it's very healing. So
Oh
it's like a
yeah.
win-win. You're helping someone else, you're helping yourself, you're helping the community. And so that is the theme for the spring is, what can you do on your unique individual basis to contribute to your community and make something better on a humanitarian way.
Mhm. Okay.
And so, for honor of the Aquarian new moon, I brought out the Aquarian little
Really?
girl.
You need to go somewhere.
Yeah,
Um, let me see here. I can go with the everyday tarot, the deck that you gifted me.
yeah.
Hold on. Where'd it go? Honey.
This is the deck that is like what I consider like my everyday deck, the Aquarian deck. I think this is the second or third one that I'm on. I figured out a couple of them. I was trying to find the. I don't have the original box to these.
That's fine.
Very Art Nouveau kind of artwork.
Oh, so is this. It's like very minimalistic,
Yeah,
clean
yeah.
lines. Okay, so let's go ahead and go with Aries.
Aquarian New Moon. Stellium in Aquarius. We've got a Mars square, Saturn sextile Jupiter. Looking at boundaries, open pathways. Okay. Oh, oh. We've got the Wheel of Fortune
And I have Queen of Cups.
in Aries.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, I mean, this is like,
what goes around comes around.
yeah, but this Queen of Cups, this is a nurturer. This is someone who is open to love. This is also, yeah, like maybe offering love in a situation.
North Node is in Aries right now, so maybe there's some sort of fated
Love.
love for Aries.
Maybe it's a new beginning in love.
Something very unique with Mars in Aquarius.
Yeah, because
Mars,
there's that whole Venus thing going on too, right?
yeah, and Mars rules Aries.
Okay, well, I mean, that's a positive aspect for
Yeah,
Aries.
Aries are the children of the zodiac, so maybe meeting someone even from when you were in school and you meet them again later in life, that kind of thing too.
I think that's good.
So
Yeah,
we've
next we
got
have.
Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus right now, so that's pretty big stuff. Jupiter and Uranus, that's I don't know, that's a time to invest in the fine arts. Oh, death, new beginning.
And I have King of Swords, and it's in reverse.
So has Taurus been ignoring their intuition?
I don't know. I feel like really closed off, energy, not being very clear. Um, Honestly, this feels like a stubborn energy, like not wanting to have a new beginning, or not, or just being closed off is what I'm getting.
Yeah, yeah, definitely resisting change.
There you go.
But death for me is always the skeleton, riding the horse, right?
Mhm.
So, sort of synonymous, like getting down to the bone of the matter, getting down to the bones.
Maybe also what I was getting is not being very clear about how to change or
Yeah,
how to move forward.
yeah.
So, like if you do the meditation around this new moon and get clear about what it is that you would like to like pursue,
A new beginning.
yeah, then things will become more clear. But I feel that maybe you have to sit on this and think about it if you're not sure.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll be all right. We all have those moments. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
yeah. So next we have Gemini. Hmm. I already have a card. It's the moon in reverse.
Five of Swords.
Oh, interesting.
So,
So,
ignoring your instincts, Gemini.
yeah, maybe the truth is that you, you know, with the Five of Swords, there's always like two people, and then that one guy that's like behind trying to make himself look good, but in the end, he doesn't, and he kind of misses out. And this is where Gemini, your plans kind of failed. Is what I'm getting. Like instead of like winning favoritism in the way like kind of like ego, right? Like ego has gotten the best of you, and instead of like making amends with everybody, you lost everyone. Um, that's what I feel.
And also,
And
Gemini is ruled by Mercury.
mm-hmm,
Mercury in Aquarius within a few degrees of Pluto. That is confusion. And this Five of Swords is often confused thoughts.
right. So maybe that's this clarity or the truth that maybe you are confused, and that's okay. You know, just take the time to really reflect on what it is. Um,
Like veg out on bad TV for the weekend. Don't try to make any decisions. Just allow
yeah,
this energy to settle, you know?
I would say yes to that.
Yes. Just veg out. Don't push yourself to try to make a
Because
decision.
honestly, it's like I have so many things that I want to do, but it's like, well, I can't make sense of like what I'm doing.
What about a list?
You know, I tried the list and I don't know, I just can't seem to like focus on the list.
I did that. I did that. I made a list, and then I realized today that I had abandoned my list.
Yeah, I was like, well, there goes that list. Like, it's Friday, right? That must be it. It's Friday.
I made a nice list last weekend, and I was on a very good focused roll with chores.
Uh huh.
And then I realized all week long I completely abandoned the list.
Yeah, because a lot of other thoughts came through,
Yeah,
and there was just so much to do. Yeah.
it's overwhelming.
Mm. Well, so for Cancer, I have, let's see here, Seven of Cups in reverse.
I have the Two of
Oh.
Cups.
So I feel like this is you finally made a decision in love.
The
So
decision may be to not say anything.
yeah, just looking in each other's eyes and silent. So keeping your mouth shut.
Silence.
Yeah, it's
A
just pretty much.
picture could speak 1,000 words. Is that the way the song goes? If a picture could speak 1,000 words,
Mm-hmm.
what I would say to you.
So, but whatever it is, Cancer has their eyes set on something or someone.
Hmm.
Mm. Mom is the word.
Uh, on themselves. Cancer needs to do some self love.
Oh, yeah, we all do.
Yeah. This is some crazy energy. So anything we can do to relax and decompress.
I have the perfect thing. Let me interject here.
Yes.
No, you talked about it. So I have my latest and
Oh,
greatest, right? And get this, guys, okay? This is a lavender eye pillow. It
nice.
has lavender in it and it has flax seeds and you just put it over your eyes. So if you have like puffy eyes and you need a relax and it smells good, it
Mm,
has the aromatherapeutic thing. So this can be used as a cold pack or a hot pack. And then in here, and you guys can't see it.
show and tell.
Oh no. We
Oh,
have the candle, we got matchsticks, I have lip balm, I have soap, I have tea, a cup,
tea.
honey, and everything, and a little towelette to wipe yourself clean.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, all of this is available at smibeautyandbath.com and foxytees.com. So
Nice.
yeah, this is called the Pamper Me gift box. So if you want to get
Perfect for
pampered,
Valentine's.
Valentine's for yourself, to someone you love. But
Yeah.
that was the whole purpose because a lot of times, on the weekend especially, you just want to relax and you just throw on a freaking eye pack
Yeah.
and drink you a cup of tea and kick your feet up and you'll be good.
I think that's my plan this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I have some
Yeah.
of those gel eye patches you gave me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those two, those will work. Let me tell you, we're in the Aquarian age, right?
Yeah.
My mama gifted me this laser treatment.
Oh,
It's a
cool.
machine.
Oh, cool.
Oh yes. So like I don't know if you can tell my
Is
skin.
it LED light or what?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know what it is, but it vibrates and it has electrical impulses.
Oh, yeah.
And like on the first setting, it's like a red color, and
Oh, yeah.
you put it on your face, and you do it when it's clean after you cleanse. Like there's no product on your face; it's just after you've washed your face. Then
Yeah.
the second step is like this blue bottle, and you rub the ampule, as they call it, ampule, and you just rub it, and the blue light it just goes into your skin, and
Mm,
then you just and you try to get as close as you can to the little wrinkle areas and stuff.
yeah. Nice.
and then and
Beautiful.
then there's like the third step. It's a brown bottle, and that's for the wrinkles.
Okay.
So that one you rub all over your face, and then you use the machine, and you rub it in with that
Nice.
LED light. I tell you what, the the next day when I woke up, my face was looking
It looks
more,
nice now.
more hydrated. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's because like this camera is forgiving. Like it's smoothing out my face a lot more than it really should. But I noticed that it actually like it tightens up the pores, which I have like bigger pores and stuff. But
Yeah.
it tightens and firms everything, and I was like,
Nice.
wow. You can get it on Amazon. It's called Centrilla or something. It's like $300, but it
Nice.
comes with the machine and the three different drops.
Yeah.
Um,
I've
but
seen
yeah,
those like white hockey mask things that are lights on the inside.
it's similar to that, but this one is it's like a handheld tool,
Oh, right.
and it turns like these neon lights, and it's supposed to be like a laser treatment. But I
Yeah.
think that when you put it on,
You wear little glasses.
no, there ain't no glass thing. You just make sure you don't go in your eye, and you just
Yeah.
go around the whole face. But I think it sends electrical pulses,
Yeah.
and I think that's what it does with the light, infrared light.
Yeah.
And there's something with that with the ampule that makes it. all like
Yeah.
it, I don't know.
Stimulates collagen, I guess, and all that.
I don't know. It's in Korean, so I couldn't read. But I just watched a Korean American demo it. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna follow what this girl says because I don't know what they're saying. Um,
Nice.
but yeah, my mom gifted it to me for my present,
Nice.
and I was like, wow, this is actually nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So for Leo, I have 10 of Cups.
I have Eight of Pentacles.
Okay, working on a happily ever after. I see.
Yeah.
Ah,
One can only hope.
yeah, I know, right? But I think you have to work at it because, like, with the Eight of Pentacles, that gentleman looks like he's building it,
Yeah.
building this happy kingdom over here. So, I mean, maybe that's a good thing, with this new moon energy. It's like,
So that would be an opposition. Leo, Aquarius are opposites. So it's challenging to have oppositions to your sun.
hmm so maybe Leo's being optimistic,
Hmm.
maybe trying to find the positive in this tough energy, to really work through it and to get that happy ending.
A whole lot with Leo right now has to do with knowing their own self worth
hmm
and not compromising that.
That would be a good thing.
And sometimes that takes hard work.
hmm I mean,
Got to do it.
yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Do what you got to do.
So next we
Looking
have,
for those signs. What was that? Mercy overcomes judgment. That sign really hit me funny.
yeah,
Mercy. Mercy is a interesting concept.
yeah, mercy is it's almost like having compassion or
Yeah,
even forgiveness.
over judgment.
Yeah,
Is
over
that
judging.
maybe forgiving ourselves for judging ourselves and others?
Like being too hard,
Hmm.
you know, because mercy is, it's not a very like it's not a common thought that we normally
Right.
think of when we're thinking
Right.
about judgment.
And it was on the back of this like work truck and big letters on the bumper.
Who doesn't say that a trucker don't have brains
I know.
you
Who
know
says the trucker doesn't have a heart and compassion and
yeah,
mercy?
yeah, have mercy.
I should have taken a picture of it. That was a good reminder notice.
hmm
Right, Virgo. You little picky thing, you.
Yeah. Oh well,
In
here we are.
Pentacles.
I got King of Pentacles.
No.
All right, working
Make
on
it
that.
some money. Yeah.
Yeah, that solid foundation, long term stability.
Yeah.
So Virgo is doing what they know best, and that's work. Like
Yeah.
working on the end game over there.
Yeah.
That's actually good because, like, if this is like a start to like something new, and what I think you said that the Pluto goes into Capricorn one more time around
June
the, like, yeah, around June, July, right? And then it goes back.
in November.
Yeah. So maybe it's that time to really think about your long-term goals.
Mercury is ruled by, Virgo is ruled by Mercury, which is doing that kind of crazy, um, chaotic kind of dance in Aquarius right now with the new moon. So there might be a
Mhm.
little craziness.
Mhm. But at least it looks like something structured, like
Yeah.
something that, for long term. Maybe it doesn't really manifest right now, but maybe this is the beginning of the next decade for Virgo.
For Virgo, right.
hmm Yeah, that's actually okay.
Yeah. because Virgo would be um, a trine to the Mars Venus right now. So that's good for those pentacles.
Mhm.
You said foundation,
Mhm.
getting
Yeah,
stuff done.
that's what it looks like. I mean, it may take some time, but it's the good start, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
stability. It looked like for Libra, I got Knight of Swords,
Okay. Let's see here.
youthful energy.
Oh, I have 3 of Cups.
So the South Node would be in Libra right now. So this could mean past things coming up for the new moon for Libra.
Mhm. But with the 3 of Cups, it's like a celebration.
Yeah,
So maybe going out,
emotional
mingling
healing.
with people, maybe being clear about like who they surround themselves with.
Very social. Feels very social, doesn't it?
Like, but I feel like Libra, you're choosing like who you're socializing with. You know, you're not just doing it with everybody. You're just being picky now.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you're just clear on who your friends are. Your inner circle, your circle of friends over there.
And using your intuition to know who those close friends should be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe you get some clarity. Maybe it's a new group of friends.
Yeah.
You know, that you kind of
So
met
you
really
get
quickly.
a invitation to a Super Bowl party that is a new thing for you. Go, Libra. Go.
Yeah, but don't gamble.
Run free, little pony.
So
What
next we have Scorpio.
is Scorpio doing for the Aquarius new moon? That's not all that comfortable, really. Not uncomfortable, but
Yeah, I would say like a little hard ride, you know, like I don't know.
maybe more
Oh,
of that veg out kind of energy. Five of Pentacles.
I have the Emperor. So maybe it's time to sit down and I don't know, think about the future over here.
Yeah, like what do you want
Um,
spiritually in your life?
I would
Or
say
do you
if
not
you're feeling isolated or feeling like you're not enough, I mean, think about like you're this boss over here, like this emperor person. Um, you have like this whole kingdom, but you feel like it's like being on top of the world, like having everything, but still something's off. So still, you're not like happy with something. That's what I feel.
yeah. And what do you do to feel connected or a sense of belonging?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel. Yeah, don't feel like you're either. Maybe you're worthy, or you feel like the value. Like, do you feel valuable? So, interesting. I would say just think about it, Scorpio, but don't dwell on it too much. But if you know what this is, how are you going to get out of the Five of Pentacles energy so that you could be a part of that community aspect, like be a part of the team?
Yeah.
What I'm saying, because after five is a six,
And Scorpio can be a little,
withdrawn.
yeah,
Yeah, get out of your home.
yeah, come out from behind the curtain.
Yeah, come out and play.
Yeah.
So next we have Sag.
So this is energy Sag would really like because it connects to that sense of freedom. Queen of Swords, the
Okay.
psychic queen.
Speaking your truth.
So it's
Oh,
all about the truth.
about walking away from something, leaving something behind for something better. I want to say it was that Leo card, right? Wasn't Leo the one with the 10 of cups?
Yeah.
Hmm. Maybe Sag, you're clear that you need to go to like a place. Like I feel like this is like it could be a physical
Yeah, like a trip.
trouble.
Might be a trip
Mhm. Wanting to talk to someone about
a,
finally
psych-
taking a trip.
a psychic experience, maybe a telepathic experience,
Mhm.
traveling telepathically,
I mean,
remote
I definitely
seduction.
do you see like they have lines back there. That reminds me of the
Yeah.
Aquarius sign, the little wiggly
Oh, yeah.
line.
Yeah.
But I think like the lines is about electrical currents, not so much about like water.
Right.
You know, so maybe it's like you've communicated that you need to go to get to that place, to the mountain.
To tune into your own intuition.
Yeah. Maybe it's time, or it's time to get clear on what you feel or what you want, where you want to go.
That figure looks like it's hiking, maybe
Yeah,
just
that's what I was thinking, like going to the top of the mountain to figure things out.
to find the truth. Sag is the truth seeker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think you know the truth. Just might not be what you want to admit. That's
Yeah.
always a hard one.
Well, I guess I guess it's gonna be different for everyone. Whatever that truth is. But
Truth is a funny thing, isn't it?
I know it's like, well, it could be a good thing or a bad thing.
And it can change.
Yeah.
Oh, Capricorn.
Yay, Cappy!
So
I'm being
I have
sarcastic.
Mars and Venus are in Capricorn right now. I got the Magician.
Mm. Oh, and I have the High Priestess. Interesting.
Teacher and healer. This is about
Hmm. Like
putting,
being spiritual and
yeah,
like working on your higher self.
absolutely.
That's actually a good thing. I would say, yeah. I mean,
Help
maybe it's time
too.
to like tune into your higher self and meditate.
This is good mojo for Capricorn.
Yeah. I mean, maybe like I just need to just relax
Yeah.
and not really think too much. Yeah.
These energies have a certain degree of settling in that needs to happen. Like there's a lot
Yeah.
of that needs to just like settle for a couple of days.
I had like tea, I had my coffee, and I was going back and I was like, I want one or the other.
Yeah.
But I need water, it's like maybe I should drink some water,
Yeah.
to take
Yeah.
the edge off,
Yeah.
But that's where I'm at. And I was like, you know what, maybe I should just take a break. I don't know. But that sounds good, like good advice. So after this live, I'm just gonna check out.
Don't stress.
I'm not gonna work. I was planning on working on something, but I should just relax.
Just take a break. Take a break, Cappy.
I will. Yeah.
You deserve a break today.
Yeah. At least a couple hours, right?
My break, I came home yesterday. I was just sort of kafloodled out, a lot of energy around. And my break was an oatmeal cookie and a ginger ale, and that
Oh,
renewed me. Doesn't that sound good? An oatmeal
yes.
cookie and a ginger ale. And I was back in the saddle again, but I just sat in my chair and I ate my cookie real slow and I sipped my ginger ale real slow. And I don't know, I just needed a moment. And then it seemed like that oatmeal and ginger just was what I
Did it?
needed. Yeah, I never ate like a meal or anything. I just wanted that cookie and a little bubbly.
No,
Oh,
that sounds good. I've been craving chocolate lately. I was like, man, I need chocolate.
I
You know,
know.
I think it's just I've had so much chocolate. I'm like now kind of addicted to it almost.
I love chocolate.
Yeah, I just
Here we
recently.
are at Valentine's,
Oh yeah, I
like
forgot.
the chocolate week of the year.
Well,
Right, I got 7 of rods, Aquarius, setting boundaries.
and I have the devil.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
this is interesting.
Say no.
Yeah, right. Keep your knees together, Aquarian.
Like you might be tempted, but you're fighting it, and you're like, yes, no, yes, no. Like,
I would say no for now.
oh
Let the
man,
dust settle.
yeah. I mean, like if you feel like you have to, you really don't. I mean, really stand up for yourself. You know, is what I'm feeling.
Be creative. Do something
Mhm.
artsy.
Yeah, yeah. So Aquarius might be challenged, but I feel like you can actually get yourself out
Be
of
open
this.
to new pathways.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that means when I say that, I'm even thinking of, you know, the pathways in the circuitry of your brain because Aquarius is circulation and electricity. So, where do you have all that going on? But in the brain, you have a circuits of electrical synapses sparring all
Mm-hmm.
the time. So, for Aquarians, this could be a lot of brainstorming and epiphanies, and it might be just best just to, say no and give yourself a chance to process.
Yeah, because I think they do think about things methodically in a way before they make a decision. So,
Methodical chaos.
yeah. Take your time, but hurry up.
Yeah, hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
So let's see, we have Saturn and Neptune still in Pisces. That is
Oh.
early energy right there, boy. That is, well, the lovers.
Oh. And I have 3 of Wands.
Wow.
So, are you thinking about a long distance lover?
Let's
Seeing,
see.
hmm.
Pisces.
You're looking forward towards something, that's for sure.
Might be a little fantastic, little, little fantasy going on there.
Yeah, I think you. I mean, if you have a decision, you're thinking about leaving something behind and moving forward with something else. To your lover over here.
Very seductive.
Hmm.
Neptune is
I
seductive.
keep getting like Pisces. You might have like 2 lovers. It could be 3.
Yeah.
What's up with you, Pisces? But you're holding on to one. You're thinking about it. Thinking about that lover over there.
And, the lover's card is like that ethereal kind of connection as well. Doesn't have to be something in the here and now,
No, I
something on
definitely
another
feel like something romantic and like dreamy and like just because I see this person like off in the distance looking towards the ocean like are they reminiscing or waiting for the time that they can rendezvous with their love.
I don't know. Definitely, they always call this like sacred marriage. The
Or if you are married, you're thinking about Valentine's Day, what you're gonna gift to your lover over there. Mm. Maybe it's a cabin trip.
um, chocolates and champagne would be Pisces.
Hmm.
Just
That
don't go
sounds
too
good.
far on either
Chocolate,
one.
strawberry chocolates.
And champagne.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yummy. That sounds good. Well, Pisces. I mean, if any Pisces want to send some of that, hello. I'm getting hungry for chocolate.
They've
Yeah.
been putting chocolate out at work for Valentine's, and I'm good. I can stay away from it until they put those damn M&Ms out.
Oh, are you the M&M girl?
I love M&Ms,
Do you like regular M&Ms or the peanut
the
kind?
regular ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she caught me with those today. I've been good all week, not participating, and then I saw those damn little snack packs of M&Ms. You know, it has a pen in there. Take them like pills. Oh my god.
They taste good on ice cream, like
Yeah,
as a topping.
I
Mm.
like those cookies too, where they bake them in there. It's part
Mhm.
of the cookie.
Oh my god, you're talking about these cookies. I'm gonna have to make or even buy cookies tomorrow.
That
So
to me is like the best food group of all is cookies.
yeah, when they're fresh.
Oh yeah.
But if you don't eat them fast enough and you don't have a way to contain them to, because I don't like it when they get too crunchy. Um,
I bought blueberries. I was gonna try to put some blueberry muffins together. I keep seeing them in the store, and I think, I make a really good blueberry muffin. I am not gonna buy them. So I hope I do that. Last
oh, you're
weekend,
making me hungry.
you know, talking about Aquarius and electricity, I don't know if anybody can relate to this, but I have been going through a period of a lot of burnout light bulbs,
Mm,
and three of them requiring ladders to get to, right? And I just
mhm,
put it off, put it off, put it off till I'm just tired of the darkness, right? Two were in my kitchen, one over the sink, one over a counter, and then one in an upstairs hallway. And so I don't know what hit me last weekend, but I got the dogs out. It was early. It was really crisp air and cold, and I was bundled up. I was like, let me go to the hardware store right now, because one of them were those long fluorescent bulbs.
okay,
I
yeah.
had to go get one. It's like, let me just go get what I need. And it was like 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm at the hardware store, and by 9:30, I had all my light bulbs replaced. And I was like, I procrastinated probably 2 months pulling out a ladder and replacing light bulbs for what took me a little over an hour. And I'm like, why, why procrastinate like that? I don't know.
Because you weren't feeling it,
I wasn't feeling it
and you're okay with being in the dark.
at all. So I got it done, and it's like 10 o'clock on a Saturday morning. I've been to the hardware store. I've been up and down on a ladder. I'm like, whoa, if I do nothing else the rest of the weekend, I have I have checked some things off the list for sure.
Yeah, that was a big accomplishment. That was like last month's list.
I know, I know. I have a friend that we text back and forth. We both live by ourselves and always talking about household chores and repairs. And I
Hmm.
had texted her to say, before I ever went to the hardware store, before the end of the weekend, I want to have these light bulbs replaced, thinking it was going to take me all weekend. Mainly, it's just dragging the ladder around. Um,
Hmm.
And then it was like an hour and a half later, and I was able to text her. I was like, it is all done.
Well, that's a
Belated
good.
happy birthday, No More Lies. I know you had a birthday this week. I hope it was well.
Oh yeah. Well, happy birthday, honey. Or may did it already pass, or is
I
it to
think it was
come?
Wednesday.
Oh,
So
well, happy
that's the
birthday.
solar return when the sun returns to to the place where you were born, and it's all about a clean slate, starting fresh for the new solar year.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, this is a good time to get a natal chart done. You know. So yeah, if you guys want to get a chart done, you can head on over to linemountainhealing.com. Um, it's a good time to kind of look into like what's to come. Also make plans. If it matches up with what you were thinking.
And usually it's just nice confirmation of stuff you're already mulling around about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I like getting it done with you. It's like okay, like that's what I was thinking, and it's pretty much in
It's nice
alignment.
confirmation, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's good. It's like a good check. So. Does anyone have any questions for Sonny? Because Luna is getting rowdy. Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Let's see, when do we have? Just looking at that too. We've got a full moon. Let's see.
Oh my God.
So the full moon in Virgo, Saturday the 24th.
Okay, so do you want to go in on the 23rd?
I will dial that in right now.
Okay, we can do that same time.
Same bat channel,
Mm-hmm.
23rd. All right. My phone is acting up. What is it? What? What? Okay, there we go. 23rd. Virgo, full moon. That's busy.
Well, that remember we were channeling Virgo's energy about them having the Ten of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. So maybe between now and
Work.
then they're ramping things up, to get ready for maybe completing something so they can do whatever for the next cycle that they have going on. That's actually a good
It's
thing.
starting a new business. Or,
Yeah, getting it done.
yeah.
But I think that list is going to take forever.
You have lists of lists. Kathy says so many lists. Check them off.
Yeah.
Virgos do have lists of lists.
Yeah, that's me. I mean,
I have Mars in Virgo. I have lists of lists.
mhm. I do too. I mean, I showed you my sticky note earlier, but
Yeah.
that's only one of many. I have it buried under here. Like I'm not going to show, but I have like a stack of papers next to me that don't look pretty.
I am embarrassed for anyone to see my desk and office right now. I need to do some focusing on that this weekend.
Yeah, I know. Like this is not pretty. I mean, I know I shouldn't be like going live with that stuff in the background, but
I didn't even notice it.
okay, good.
I
With
started
my
this morning.
whiteboard and like
Right. I think it was last weekend, I started sorting piles to
Mhm.
see if there was stuff I could like shred and get rid of.
Mhm.
Well, I got distracted, so now I just have little piles. I never did like finish.
Well, maybe that's the thing that you could do tomorrow since you got your big task done.
Got my lights done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have lights to see, so now you
Yeah.
can you can do it.
It's
Mhm.
going to be cold and rainy here all weekend.
Oh yeah, that's a perfect weather to like just do some brainless
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Oh,
Sorting. I need to do some sorting.
yeah, I do too. I need to make space.
Yeah.
Some
That's,
places are dusty and I got dust and stuff. So.
yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Mhm. Okay. So if nobody has anything to say, I guess we'll see you in the next live, which will be
Yeah.
2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Um,
Everybody use this time to connect with your inner mystic. Your
yes.
inner mystic.
Yeah, be in Zen mode, take your spiritual
Yeah.
bath, and
And hop over to
beautyandbath.com.
smibeautyandbath.com.
Yes, I have wonderful lavender eye pillows and soaps and shampoo bars and lip balm and gift boxes so that you can enjoy yourself. All new stuff
Nice.
is there.
Nice.
So yeah. And I'm gonna use some of that myself this weekend so I can relax.
Good. Good. That sounds like a plan. We
Mm,
got a plan. That's all that counts.
yeah, I'm gonna relax after this. So
Ah, good.
yay.
Good. Well,
Yeah,
it's just hold on to your hat, be observant, and decompress. We'll do.
sounds good.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, you too.
Appreciate everybody's time.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for always sharing your wealth of knowledge with us every moon cycles. So thank you.
It's my pleasure. Anytime. I'll talk to you later.
Okay. All right.
Bye.
Bye bye.